followers, CCG players, fans, and everybody else who wants to hang out with me on a Friday afternoon, at least in America, Friday afternoon. In Europe, I believe it's Friday night. Give me just a second here to let them know. Garrett Larson here. Dead Body on the forums and every place else. Out doing the Outrider Cup. This is, excuse me, Game 10 of the Outrider Cup. It's going to be Emil Wallin, light side, playing Old Allies, versus Justin Desai, who is playing dark side, and Revenge of the Sith Maul. So this will be an interesting game. Like, I'm curious how this is going to go. It feels like a match that Revenge of the Sith at least has some play in. Like, you just want to go after their sights, and that's what you're trying to do. So that'll be a good test for both of them. What am I? All right, I'm assuming. Make sure they can. Everyone can hear me. I think it should be up. Okay, perfect. Oh, Dan just misses my face. Yeah, I at some point need to figure out setting that stuff up, but no one really misses my face all that much, and the dulcet tones of my face for radio is just much better for everyone involved. So yeah, we've got Emil versus Justin Desai, two world champs facing off. This is going to be a fun game, and honestly, like, Revenge of the Sith, Maul, and Old Allies, it should be interactive. Like, Old Allies can't just sit and ignore, because I expect Justin's going to go hard at Jakku. Like, that's the way you got to do this, is go after Jakku. If you're on Jakku, he can't mess with your drains. And just start grinding out guys. Like, you've got to make positive trades. You know, Justin's got to make sure his Dark Jedi are taking out multiple guys at a time in the battles that are happening. And that could be tough. Like, he's going to be likely eating a drain of 2 in space for most of the game. I expect his space package may struggle to try and take down the Falcon with Rey and probably General Lando and that whole setup. So he's going to have to take over ground. I think Old Allies is probably slightly favored. That would be my, my back of the napkin math. My figuring on this says Old Allies has got a little bit of an advantage. They can't reduce the drains. They can't mess with the drains where Justin has a Dark Jedi or Sith. But if they can just load their guys into Dash and Rogue 12 and Blue 11 and just not lose guys to lightsabers and just play the long game, play the grind game, I think they're slightly advantaged. That being said, it's certainly not a cakewalk, and there's no game where either one of these players is walking in going, well, I can't win, because these are two amazing players who should walk into every game thinking they can win it, and definitely we'll walk into these. Just kind of filling time. The game is up and ready to go here as soon as Emil jumps in and accepts it. This is the last day for signups for the Gem PC. Last I heard, we're at like 122 signups. I know Batmouse, the Gem Sheriff, would love to see it go to 128 just for a massive full bracket, like twice as big as March Madness. Let's go. It'd be cool to see it get there. I don't know if it will. I'm signed up. It's fun. You know, the margin for error is low. Like, there's going to be a lot of folks who are ranked where they are, but the floor in this game has come up so much from when it was, you know, when I started playing in Dagobah, where there were players that you could just beat, and there were not great players sometimes, and like those players don't exist anymore. It's every game is harder, every game takes more thought, and frankly, I love that. Like, it's so much more fun. But it means something like the Gem PC is a lot harder to rank, folks, a lot harder to do stuff. It's a good match. If both teams end up tied at 6, they could replay this match. I don't remember what the choice was on that, if they had to stick with the same decks or they were allowed different decks. I remember watching it 2 years ago. That was really kind of when I just started getting back into playing, and I remember watching that final game and watching that final stream of Bastion versus Joe and enjoying the heck out of it. But I don't remember if they were locked into decks or if that was y'all get to pick your own decks. It's a one match, winner take all. So we'll see. And actually, I believe both captains were given the option of who they wanted to play. Oh, look at Chris dropping in the... Wow. Chris types really fast because I didn't even get all that stuff said. So, Hall of Famer Chris Schoenthal, our tournament advocate, dumped into chat all the info that was appropriate. Yep, the captains will choose one player to represent the team in a winner-take-all event. They will be given a new deadline to submit new deck list to the tournament director. They can play any deck they want, and that'll be fun. And yeah, in an hour from now, we'll have Brian Fed versus Justin Branch on Dan Tartaglione's channel, the Tartag1. But you should watch the end of my game first, because I'm far more interesting than Dan. Although he may be better looking because he's going to have his camera turned on. No shame. Joe, as always, rooting super hard for Desai. There's a little bit of, professional courtesy between the two of them. I know they definitely respect each other greatly as players. They're both Joe and Justin are amazing players. So they are, they're rivals though. Like, they definitely want to win against each other whenever they play. They're definitely rooting hard to make that stuff happen. Trying to think of what else we've got to talk about. The Gem PCs going on. If you didn't watch the streams from earlier today, Jared Napolitano streamed an amazing match and spoiled some cards. He showed the printed, all ready to go, of the gorgeous... there, we got a game going. The gorgeous Admiratus cut, the border breaking Admiratus, which is beautiful. And then he shared the Corellia alt art for the Ryloth and the Eclipse event that I got my hotel room. I'm planning on going. It's going to be a blast. So, as we said, we knew what the matchup was going to be going in. So we've got Revenge of the Sith, Maul, starting with Jabba's Palace and the Desert Landing Site. And Justin starting with You Can't Hide Forever mode points and Jabba's Haven. and Endor Shield virtual. So this will be an interesting deck. Emil starts Old Allies, goes with Wallin, and Battle Plan, draw their fire. So he's trying to grind the game down a little bit as well. And a Brave Resistance virtual. I like the Battle Plan start. Like, OA should be satisfying Battle Plan fairly early. Slowing down your opponent is a good thing. You see in chat, it's an interesting, both players wishing each other good luck in being friendly, and it's, this is sort of what this Outrider Cup is about. They're here to have fun. So Justin ditches You Can't Hide Forever Mold points right away to grab something special planned for them V. Emil drops Rebel Leadership. Grabbing the something special right away tells me either he's got the system in hand. He's got the system in hand, because otherwise he would pull it. There's no reason not to. So he's got the system in hand. Getting an extra grabber. That's the game right now. Like, it wouldn't shock me at all if he drops something special. He drops Tentacle, and we see, 3 grabbers going on. This will be a great match, honestly. Like, they're both going to know exactly what's going on. We see the leadership grab. Let's pause the chat for a second. So, leadership was played to grab Radis. No surprise there. Justin using Endor Shield to get Ozzel. Brave Resistance going and getting General Leia. A lot of setup early. Justin activates 7. Like, I think it feels bad giving up the free Maul here, but I think you do that to get that. Yeah, I think I said at the start of this, I think Emil's got a huge advantage. I think Justin's playing uphill, but there's very few players in the world that I think are good enough that it doesn't matter what the advantage is, who the advantage is, they can definitely win it. The Desert Landing Site SSA might have done okay against Old Allies. This is Rot's Maul, so it's a little bit different deck. There's some more limitations in the characters and stuff you can play. He's not, he's not running Choke Fighter. He's missing some of those other stuff. So this will be interesting. The activation package is interesting. We see Rendley, we see Nel Hutta. We see the something special. So Justin's already got 2 grabbers in play. He doesn't have a way to go get Maul's Saber right now, which feels a little bad. But, I think you can deal without that for the moment. This is really just get your huge activation and start going through. Yeah, Rots lacks the Emperor's Shuttle package and Vader. And Justin says, you know what? I'm activating 13 next turn. I'm going to draw a few. Leaves himself 4. He drew up to 12. I think possibly in fear of Emil just going with a fun Grimtash just for giggles. So we see Brave Resistance going, and Lando, Hero of the Rebellion, getting grabbed. That's been kind of the change in Old Allies. You used to run a lot of... You'd always see strike planning for General Calrissian. Now, Brave Resistance works totally different, and they do that. Yeah, I mean, the drains on Jakku, it's weird because, Rots does what Old Allies already does, which is you can't mess with their drains on Jakku. But, Old Allies says you can't reduce the drains. It's at non-Jakku locations, so, you want to go there anyways, you want to get that done anyways, so it's fine. It's not anything amazing, and that's kind of the, okay, we'll see what happens. So we see Lando, Hero of the Rebellion, as a pilot on the Falcon. I expect we'll see Radis as a passenger on the Falcon, because we're going to see, I'm sure, a Ray pull. Yep, so here's Ray from reserve deck. Now, Emil may have open-handed one and just said, well, I'll take the reserve deck one because then I've got the one in deck in hand for free. I try and do that all the time, like take advantage of the pull when you can do it, because late game you might have less of a deck. It might be a lot harder to make that pull work. So he deploys Ray, goes to grab a card with Ray. If Justin had a barrier, this would be, I think, where you play it. You kind of force him to have an answer. It appears that's not the case, as Ray's grabbing a card from use pile. And I expect we'll just... Ray moves over, Ray jumps on as a pilot, Falcon takes off. We see Emil grab the Curling Corvette with Radis, just grabs the 9 unique, not doing any Lightbringer shenaniganery or anything. And Lando here, the Rebellion, to reveal the top 3 and see if you find a starship. Oh, he did. He got the Resistance transport. That's hard. Like, and there's the Imperial Detention to stop the Resistance transport from deploying a free Rebellion character. Like, it'll be, he'll have to pay 2 for Holdo. But that was actually pretty big. Getting that out right away that's good for Emil. Like, his space is, he's got it all now. Like, I don't know what else he's running in there for space, but he might, it's very possible he's got every space card he's got in the deck in there right now. So Ray's moving over. I assume Ray's jumping on. Ray's jumping on. Ray's a pilot. And ship's taking off to Jakku, because that's how OA starts. Yeah, I mean, this has been 100% the exactly what I expected out of Emil, exactly how I expected OA to go. Like, the opening hand leadership is good to go get the Radis, but you know, that's just one of those things. Everything else, he did it exactly right, and he's got a bunch of force for next turn. He's got 2 force saved. He's going to activate 14. He's got 12 cards in hand. Like, this is all good. So let's see what Justin does here. He's got 18 force to work with. He's going and grabbing a site, a Jabba's Palace site, with the Jabba's Palace text. Like, he's got his own huge activation engine. Like, that's how this works. See the Droid Workshop. Would not surprise me at all if we see a Forlom there for 1 less. Because why not? Like, you want to get Forlom going if you can. You're going to want to run this through. There's enough systems in play. I think Justin's going to be able to satisfy Battle Order. There's the Lord Maul with sabers, so we're not even worried about lightsabers. Not trying to get Maul with the heavy duty saber stuff going. We're just, hey, we're going to throw Lord Maul with saber down. He drains for 1. There's Duro. Interesting. Who's going to go grab him? There's Forlom. Okay. Not bad. Good way to get, you know, Duro functions as kind of a double back where he goes and pulls Forlom for you. But he gives you some ability, and there's times when that's good. You know, and that's actually, it'd be a good, you know, you could use the audience chamber to pull Duro, to pull Forlom, etc. And Justin's just going to draw a few. So he had 10 cards in hand. He didn't even want a Forlom one. Wow. I'd say more, but like, if anyone watched my Jawa Cup game yesterday, I did that for like 3 turns. I was like, all the cards in my hand are too good. I don't want to Forlom any of them away. I'm just going to stick with this. And we see the Forlom used, and Justin just says, all right, let's go. So Emil activates his 14. He's got 16 force there. Pay 3 to drain for 2 is not always good. You know, we've talked about this in the past, that giving up that tempo can be bad, and we see Emil does skip the drain. He says, all right, I'm going to activate I'm going to throw down a site and just get this rolling. Um, I think that's probably the right play. Like, I don't see a good reason to go with it. He throws down the 2-2, so everybody's going to have buckets of force all game. Yeah, I mean, Duro could pull the bolt in case you were seeing a bunch of 3PO. Like, that's a solid play. P-59's always fun, but like I don't think you need to deploy P-59 right then. I think Forlam is probably the Duro target. Um, Hall of Famer Drake Shaw is just in chat saying the other things he could get. And here we see Lor Santeca deployed. Emil draws a card. Emil deploys General Leia, which flips, and then uses Lor Santeca to draw a card. That's one of the things you kind of see. Old Allies has a lot of synergy. Like, it's got a bunch of little characters, and some of them they're a little wimpy and, interesting, but like, Emil's deployed 3 characters and netted 0 cards lost out of his hand. Like, he keeps deploying guys and drawing another card off his reserve, so he keeps that hand size up. He gets his cards out. That's huge. Like, Lor Santeca's really good in there. I expect we'll see, and yep, there's Dash and Rogue 12. I would expect we'll probably see Leia jump in there as a passenger just to protect her from the shots and allow her to keep using the retrieve force when you initiate battle, that kind of stuff. First we see Lor Santeca move over. Actually, Fleet Admiral Gail Akbar jumps on, I guess, as a pilot. Does it can only have a pilot. Alright, that would make sense. I was just going to check that. I'm like, why would he only put that in there? Alright, may add 1 pilot. Fair enough. Mike Kessling showing why he was part of the Outrider Cup, and I am just the talking head. So, yeah, Lor Santeca is so good. And he actually is, the engine for this is great. Like, the ability to just go, alright, every time I deploy a guy, I get one of my cards in hand. It lessens what he needs to draw. It lessens what he needs to monkey with. Like, this is huge. This is huge for him. Justin, with 22 force active and a 12-card hand. Yeah, that seems like a good time to force push. Like, hey, I've got over a third of my deck sitting here, plus the 11 cards in hand. I've got over half my deck I can play with. I would expect a fight's going to happen. Like, there's no... If Justin isn't able to start a fight here, something has gone very, very wrong. And I think Lor is the guy you gotta try and kill. Like, you can't just ignore them right now. So, but at the same time, walking into that, you're going to be likely facing a leadership. Like, you need to plan for that. So, let's see what Justin does here. He's force pushing. So he'll end up with 23 cards in hand. Yeah, keep your eyes open. Would make a lot of sense. Grand Admiral Thrawn, Kier, Min, could be a reasonable, like, drop everyone and going. Yeah, Kier would cancel leadership, which would be good. And Justin's got to know leadership is an out. Justin is choosing to, well, it is a drain of 3 and it can't be messed with, so I don't hate that. And again, he just had so much force. So Emil loses the Were You Looking For Me from hand. A Rebel leadership off the top for reserve kind of hurts, along with the Jedi Lev. Losing the Were You Looking For Me basically says I have 3PO in hand. Anything else? It's gone. Yeah, I think you got to hear my wife come home, and she got out of work a little bit early today. It was a training day, so she got out a little early, which meant she could take my youngest to hockey practice, and that went I could sit here and stream for you guys. So really, you guys should all be happy you got to hear my wife make noise upstairs. Justin throws down Jabba's palace, the lower passages. he's got to do something about Laura and General Leia there. Like, you can't just ignore that. And honestly, I don't love just walking everyone over there either. Um, I did not ask my wife what she thought of Old Allies post errata. I don't think her opinion changed much because I don't think I asked her about it pre errata either. And usually when I talk Star Wars to her, her eyes just sort of glaze over and she takes a nap. So it is what it is. I've asked if she'd watched my streams before, and she says no. And not like a think it over, and it's just a hard no. So it is what it is. I think my streams are fun. I hope everybody else enjoys it. Um, as we see in chat, everyone's like, "Yeah, my wife sounds like your wife." But there's a ton of stuff on YouTube right now. Like, that's a great way to go through the game. We see Mara in the VT-49 Decimator going down, so he's going to try. Justin's going after him in space. Justin says, I'm going to draw my extra destinies. This is what I'm going to do. There's Tarkin. I expect we'll see another leader of some sort, maybe an Ozzel. So you put Emil on the you need to have another leadership. Like, he's got it, and we see the first strike, so if he's got a leadership, he's got to pay for it. I don't hate this play. Like, this is it also limits, so if Emil's got something like a Finn to drop down in the react, like, you can either play leadership or you can play the Destiny Adder. You can't do both. That's good for Justin. It does limit a little bit. Like, I don't know if he wants to then walk all his guys in front of the 2-2. Like, that feels bad. But we'll see where this goes. We see ML drop the do or do not, possibly expecting some sort of sense package. And, a good sense is in there. And Justin retrieves the force push, which is, alright, it's a 5. Like, that's the worst card to retrieve. Yeah, Emil says, I didn't want to play aim high. Peels the card off the top to first strike, and it was one of his Finns. Justin honestly probably was like, I would have been okay with you drawing that for Destiny, but at the same time, he's definitely happy to see Finn disappear. We see the Destiny ad with Tarkin, so he's drawing 3 in theory. There's the leadership to cap it. I'm assuming Justin grabs that, and he's using the pay grabber, so he's stacking it on allegations, paying 1. All of this is very expected right now. Like, this is, you had to put him on the leadership, make him prove it, make him play it, make him pay to play it. There's the Destiny to Power is a 2. So Justin's down a little bit in power. I mean, it might just end up being like an Ozzel going away and then moving to Nelhut or Rendeli just to have the system. And Justin draws a 2 for Battle Destiny, so you're not cracking anybody's immunity, and actually it's getting reduced now anyways. But that means he gets to use Tarkin, so after the reduction to 0, it now targets Tarkin. And he gets a 3, which still doesn't break anyone's immunity, but at least gives him the more power. So he's probably can just lose Ozzel. And Emil draws a 4. So his total Battle Destiny 5, actually, he can't just lose Ozzel. He's going to have to lose Tarkin. Tarkin will cover all 6 of the battle damage. Yep, there goes Tarkin. And Emil's totally immune, and I can't imagine he's doing anything with it. I think Justin took his shot. He made him prove the leadership. He had the leadership. Yep, that resistance female is at the bottom of used. He's got the resistance transport. He's also got a Corellian Corvette. So they could definitely be coming out here. But at the same time, like, that Ozzel plus Mara, you're drawing 2 Destiny. and that's not a bad thing. Plus Ray's locked on the Falcon, so you're kind of, you also have the option to leader. He could have commands to add another one or reduce, which would also be good. Trying to think if Justin does. I don't think Justin moves in front of the. Yep, Justin doesn't move in front. He's going to give him the Drain of 2, and actually he'll use. Or it's not Lore, it's the other dude that lets him move, isn't it? Oh no, during your control phase, one of your other characters. Yeah, so we'll see the Lore probably move General Solo. He'll drain for 5. And this is kind of what I was talking about, is Justin needed to push the action and create a problem here, and he didn't do anything. Not for lack of trying, just, yeah, it'd be drain of 5, it'll be 2, 2, and 1. And then I assume we'll just see the Dash and Lore move over. I think Justin's kind of hoping for that, and then he'll move everyone to the 2, 2 just to try and lock them a little bit in place. Like, you can use Dash to run around, but you can't use the other guys, although Emil's now got a good chance to, has had a chance now to dig for Blue 11, and that'll give him a lot more flexibility in terms of moving around where Maul is instead of getting stuck there. So we see the drain of 1 at the village, and Justin loses a Dark Time combo from reserve. That's a card he might have wanted, just for the ability to, you can't cancel my destiny. Loses a Masterful Move and a Newt off the top to the drain of 2 at the site, and we see the drain of 2 at the system here. Maul's Infiltrator and Rise of the Sith. Emil's got 24 cards down, Justin's got 25. I mean, it's still very close, but that sure looked like a real good turn for Emil, and he's setting up to do even more. We see Larmer Darcy come out on the Resistance Transport, and that adds a card with Lore. Gosh, Lore's good in this deck. It's almost like they built the whole thing around, Lore being good. Weird. There's the 3PO from hand, which we knew had to happen because he threw away the Were You Looking For Me? So 3PO on the Falcon just to avoid the bolts if it happens. Emil goes for one last Jakku site, may just be seeing what's in his reserve deck, gives up a Verify to Justin. I don't think he's he drew the 2, got it reduced, redrew it into the 3, and then top decked all the things that would have been much better for him. I mean, that's the game sometimes too. Like, my guess is Justin's deck's about 50% 5s and such that he would have really liked to draw, but sometimes you just miss those, and that's Gamp, that's Shuffles. Sometimes that stuff happens, So, and sometimes that's kind of recency bias. You can just sort of forget that, hey, this is how this has worked for me more than a few times. I expect we're going to see guys move around here. Yep, we see Lore move over with Leia. I expect we'll see Dash. Yep. Emil says, the worst thing I can do is get blown out, so I'm going to keep everybody together and not get blown out. Now, is he going to move in space as well? Like, if he's got another leadership, maybe, but, like, it's going to cost him 3. I don't hate that move, actually. Just says, alright, let's send Darcy on the Resistance Transport to Rendezvous, force Justin to have more space to respond. Like, if you don't have more space to respond, you're not doing anything. And there's Ultimatum, so the drains can be capped at 2, which is also good. Like, that does get around Revenge of the Sith, because it's not reducing the drain, it's not canceling it or modifying it, it's just limiting what you lose from it. So, we'll see. And Emil doesn't even pick any up. He's like, nope, I'm going to save some Force too, because that first strike's got to be... something to keep in mind. Again, like, your goal right now is you have an advantage matchup. Don't do anything dumb to lose the matchup, you know? And that's a valid way to play. Like, Justin's got to find something here to go after. I do expect, if nothing else, we'll see Justin move to the 2-2 simply to lock out the lore shenanigans, like stick him to one site there. Yeah, there's a lot of things Emil's likely holding. Barrier, alternatives, it's a traps, like, there's lots of stuff he could be sitting on that saving 4 is the right play, but like, he deployed a bunch of cards, he was able to save 4, and he still got 12 cards to hand. Like, this is a good thing. So Justin gives up a verify just to see what his deck looked like. He looked for Endor Shield. That might simply be a function of he was hoping to catch an Admiral, but really just wanted to make sure what his destiny were if he's going to go after something. I don't think there's a reason to do that search without a plan to do something. See him activate a couple more, so he's activated 15 of what he can activate. And he can activate 19 force. Good lord. I mean, it is turn 4. We see Emil lose 2 Jakku, or 1 Jakku site, the Ravager Craft site, and then a Chewie with Bowcaster. Either he's got another Chewie, or he is just absolutely not interested in getting into a fight on ground, but like, feels like getting into a fight on ground wouldn't hurt him, you know, or at least defending that fight on ground. Like, we see Justin activated a couple more and then did another search for bounty. I'm not sure what he's looking for there, but he's got 18 force and 10 cards in hand, so he's looking for something. There's Tarkin's bounty on Ozzel. I wonder if he's going after some sort of ship, like, go try and take down Lana and Leia's transport. You've got no immunity. He's got no immunity. I mean, basically, he's got immunity to 2. And you just go after that and try and force Emil to just sit to one site in one system. Yeah, I mean, P59 maybe, like, P59 will be obnoxious, but at the same time, like, you're subtracting from stuff, so you almost have to figure out a way to set that P59. Like, Lightside knows it's coming. Lightside will be able to see it and plan for it. And that's not particularly painful. Justin grabbed a card, so he's got 17 force to work with still. Like, Dengar can be bad, but again, Dengar's kind of in that same P59 boat where, like, you're going to see the play coming. Even if he shoots down, like, one thing, like, what all is he killing? Like, you shoot, like, in this matchup, you shoot Dash. Alright, well, the pilot on board forfeits for 6. You're just like, fine, I'll lose the pilot and I'll lose Dash, and I still have General Leia, and I still have Lore. And I'm okay with that. So we got Justin shuffling up here. Again, the match right now is USA with 5 wins, Team Europe with 4. We've got this game going on. We've got another game starting in about 25 minutes. And then I think the last game is tomorrow, early in the afternoon for US players. Again, so that'll be late evening for our European friends. All right, I like that. Zuckuss and Mist Hunter going in front of Lana. There's the barrier, which I expect gets grabbed. Like, you hate grabbing barrier, but at the same time, okay. I was wrong. Barrier is not going to get grabbed. Okay. Um, there's Lord Sidious at the outpost shipyard. I think that's just we're going to move Maul over. Like, we're going to try and lock him in there. That barrier was rough for him. Like, I think he really wanted that attack to go through. And it could be that Justin's saving for... It could be worse, or we're doomed. He grabbed leadership, but he's got the something special grabber available as well. He played something special on turn 1, so he's got a second grabber available. Yeah, like, if he didn't have blast door controls, or that was, a card he just couldn't get, like, that's unfortunate, as we see the Maul move, and Justin's just saying, alright, well, you're going to cause some damage, but I'm going to cause some in return. Wouldn't shock me if we see Mara and Ship move over as well, and force Justin to evacuate. Don't hate the Duro move over. Lightside's really got no way to do character elimination there. Like, there's no way you're going to lose Maul mid-battle and have Duro against anyone. So that's an easy move. No harm, no foul. We do see the Mara move over. And Justin, with just one force left, saves it in case something terrible happens and he needs to play Outrider. It's not just Emil in this game. Like, grabs are... There's so many light side interrupts that are obnoxious right now. Like I said, if Justin played Tentacle and threw it down, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. I'm like, alright, I'm going to grab 3 different things because they're all annoying. And the game's changed a little bit where there's a lot more with 3PO, with things like Lor Santeca. You can be like, alright, I can keep finding these interrupts even if I'm only running 1 or 2 of them just to annoy you. So looks like Emil must have put the curling Corvette back down with 3PO just so he could activate into it and use the Lando to peek at 3, grab the Corvette, and see what the other 2 were. That's a big brain play right there. Like, that was well done by him. That's a world champ level play. We see the comm scan detection to cancel the force drain where the lone Falcon is. So Justin's going to get out of, like, this turn. He's only going to lose 1 force. Like, he's still got a chance. We see the grab on the comm scan. I don't really hate that grab. Like, there's definitely other interrupts that might annoy you, but that one's going to be bad. You might be running dodge. You're probably running handles. Like, that's a solid grab. And yeah, I mean, it's like we were talking about, like I was talking about with the interrupts for light side as well. There's so much where you can just be like, all right, 4-Lom's going to get this back, 3PO's going to get this back. Like, you can get away with just having 1 or 2 copies of the really obnoxious interrupts. We see General Leia move in. We see the Weather Vane come out. Okay. I don't hate Weather Vane. Like, if you're draining for free and you can drain at a few different locations and you just keep turning it, and there's Din Djarin, who's going to add a Battle Destiny because of Duro being there. And Justin's a little low on... he's only got one force. He can only play 1 interrupt once this battle gets started. However, if it's sniper, this could be interesting. So there's the battle start. Yep, you do see Emil's already drawing 2 Battle Destiny. First strike hits. Emil has to pay 1 to retrieve 1. I expect he will with 12 cards in force. Yep, he'll go get back Rey, and Justin's going to lose 1, which will be a Kirkanos from reserve. So, and we see another retrieval with Leia. Get back Chewie with Bowcaster. And Din is going to target Lord Maul to stop something else. And now... Alright, so Lord Maul just says, alright, I'm going to swing at Din. Interesting, that means probably no leadership to add another battle destiny. I mean, you're drawing 2. You're probably killing no matter what. 5 and a 3. He can subtract 2 from that, but that won't keep Din from getting hit. So Din is going to be hit. Now the fun one would be if Justin has something like a sniper combo. Sniper and Dark Strike to eliminate him and cut it down to 1 battle destiny, cut stuff down. Doesn't look like it because it looks like the action's now on Emil. Lord Sidious getting used to grab always 2 there are or an Emodian. Neither are in deck. He did lose a Newt a turn or 2 ago. The always 2 there are, that's a little unfortunate if that's one in his activate, if that's his 1 active force. That's a little like, oops, that stinks. Because that would allow him to turn one of those battle destinies into just flat turn it into a 2 if need be. So his total battle, I mean, his battle destiny is going to end up being -1. It'll add 1 to it with Sidious, with Maul, and then subtract 2 from the objective. See, Emil draws a 4 and a 4, which is enough to kill them both, which is actually good for him. And there's a Savage Opress who's a +2 because he's a Sith, so it's a 4. It's going to subtract and reduce it down to 2, which Leia is immune to. And again, with it being 8, Maul's not going to cover. You're going to lose Maul and Duro, which is a little unfortunate. Din's going to die. Leia's immune. There goes Duro. And there goes Maul. Yeah, he knew that was at the Lando. Good point. He was down to only 2 cards, so the leadership wasn't going to help. It would have been interesting if Justin would have had like a close call there. Just be like, oh, well, I'll force you to cancel and redraw that. Have fun. So, we see the resistance transport moves away. No big shock there. We're going to see, yep, everybody move over to join at the 2-2. And I don't think you can move just Sidious in there. Like, that feels like asking for bad things, potentially. So, let's see what Justin does here. I mean, he's only got 7 cards in hand. He is starting to... It's weird to say with, 21, 22 cards down and 7 in hand, Justin's starting to hit a little bit of critical mass. But he is kind of hitting a little bit of critical mass. He's going to retrieve a card here with Jabba's Haven. I know he's got Dre and Ponda, Dr. E and Ponda Baba in there. Not sure what else he has, and he's going to get Dr. E and Ponda. So maybe he's got another guy with a saber in hand and is just going to come down and try and do a little bit of murdering. Wouldn't be the worst thing he's got going on. Like, he's going to, drain for 3 here, and he's got to keep the pressure going on his end as well. Like, he's not in the worst position he could be in, but he definitely, this feels like a not great spot. Yep, no escape from all would be a solid, like, all right, let's make this all happen. We can activate 20. He's going to activate a little bit less than that just because he needs to at least have a swing in a battle destiny, but he can activate, he can do whatever he wants. So let's see where he goes with this. And I think he's probably mathing in his head to figure out how much he wants to activate. While he's thinking about that, obviously this is being played on GEMP. You know what GEMP is. It's the free-to-play, rules-enforced spot to play Star Wars CCG. There's lots of tournaments and leagues and stuff always going on. The OCS starts next month. You can sign up for that either in a monthly shot at $10 a month for some cool looking foils, or you can sign up for an annual pass, which covers all 6 months and saves you $10. I signed up for the annual pass. I used my free event voucher I got for being a donor. You can donate to the PC. Donor packages are still available. That still gets you that gorgeous Darksaber box, as we see the Drain of 2 at the shipyard, and Emil playing It Could Be Worse from hand to reduce that by 2. And Justin doesn't grab the It Could Be Worse either. Alright, I don't know what card Justin's waiting to grab, because It Could Be Worse and Barrier are both cards I would grab. Like I said, the donations program is still active. I know we're starting to see a few more deck boxes running low on things. If you haven't seen the PC XL deck boxes, go take a look and then drool and clean the drool from your chin, because they are gorgeous. Yeah, he might have another Dark Time combo, and that'd be a solid stop. We see Emil lose the Curling Corvette from hand. He says, I'm just going to play Run and Hide in space. There's no way that Corvette's ever going to need to come out, especially with the comm scan grab, so you can leave the Falcon alone. Justin gives up a Verify, so he's really, again, figuring out what's in his deck, figure out what his destinies are. Emil's looking at it as well to figure out which destinies he's reducing. And no, there was no escape. We just had another Lord Maul from hand. That's a solid shot. Emil does have 9 cards in hand. I expect there's a chance of a handle in there to stop the target if he wants to go after Leia. I think it might be worth going after Lore. Like, Lore is the It's a Hit is a worthless grab, because those drains can't be canceled anyways because of Revenge of the Sith. So Justin's a better player than waiting to grab a card that can't hurt him. Unless he's gonna, like, surprise Talon Roll or something. Ooh, that's a spicy play. What did we talk about? Our Rebel CPA said earlier, Dengar's the guy that scares him. This could get interesting now. I mean, he's got 4 weapon destinies. He's drawing between the saber and the 2 shots, plus a battle destiny, so he's got to do something. There won't be any retrieval because I aim high. Like, Justin's shooting his shot here. And Emil loses Punch It from used pile. I love seeing Punch It. That is one of my favorite cards, even though it doesn't necessarily get played nearly as much as it should. So Lord Maul swinging at Leia. We see the 4. And that was a long hold, which makes, well, Emil can reduce. And a 5, so reducing that won't help. He needs to have a handle to cancel it. I'm not seeing a handle yet. This is... Alright, so he's reducing it to make it a 3, which... And then playing Are You... What in the heck does Are You Okay do? Alright, fair enough. Are You Okay? Subtract 2 from just drawn destiny targeting the ability or defense value. You're not a Jedi character. Alright, so he effectively subtracted 4 from that 5. Okay. That's fancy. The best card in the game. Yes, but it's new, so I haven't read it yet. That was solid. Like, he's got 2 more shots now with Dengar, though, to make things interesting. I gotta imagine one of them's gonna be at Lore. Although Justin knows what his destiny are. Like, well, that's not the one he wanted, although that would have missed Lore as well. We did see the reduction already, so he is going to get his Battle Destiny through fully, which is good. But he needed that hit to go through. So there's the shot from Dengar. That'll hit Leia unless we see another... Nope, we're not seeing anything else done. So Leia's going to get hit. Leia's going to get assassinated. Justin is up a chunk in power here. Like, that's good for him. It's really, what else can he do here? He's not going to be able to move over either of the ships to block Leia's transport, which is a little unfortunate for him. I think that's, leaving him out there. He draws that 4 for Battle Destiny, which can't be reduced, so it does kill Lore, or much more likely, Fleet Admiral Akbar. And we see a 4 coming back, which I don't know who you lose. Like, all of those guys are better with the other guy there. Yeah, as I say, I almost think you got to lose Dre and Ponda. They're the least good of the 3. Like, the other guys are just good to have rolling. And yep, so we see Fleet Admiral Akbar go and Lor San Tekka go, but Emil's got 9 cards in hand. He just needed to not lose everyone. Like, if he had lost everyone, it would have been bad, because I do believe that would have flipped him back. He's got to control a site and a system. Oh, no, just occupy 2 battlegrounds. Okay, so he was not in any danger of flipping back. But yeah, and he does know where another 4-alarm is, or another Dre and Ponda is. Justin can get that going. It's really only 1 down. Like, you get drained for 1 or 2, then you lose, and 4-alarm to get that Dr. E combo going. So now it's right on top, actually, because he hadn't 4-alarmed yet this turn, so should be, yeah, right on top. He can go get it right away. Antilles maneuver would be real obnoxious. Like, he's still got to have guys to go after him with, though. Like, that's going to be the key. He doesn't have Lor San Tekka anymore, so he's not refueling his hand. I wouldn't actually hate seeing Emil use Ray here to just get a card in hand. Like, he's got to have dudes to go after somebody with. So Emil does not Ray. He's like, nope, I like that 1 force right where it is. We'll see a drain of 3 here. Like, it's still close. Emil's got 19 cards down and 9 in hand. She's got 27 force. Justin's got 22 down and 5 in hand. So the exact 27 force, but Emil's got more cards in hand, which is really good. Ahsoka, Anakin, Padme. Yeah, there's a lot of dudes who can come down and make Justin's life unpleasant, especially with Battle Order Draw Their Fire combo being out, so he can't play any interrupts with anything. Although Emil's now activated all but 1. I think he just activated to that it could be worse. And maybe he's just going to try and grind this out. Like, that feels a little rough. Like, just moving Dash and Rogue 12 to the 2-1 and hoping feels like a bad plan. Like, if nothing else, Justin's got at least the Dre and Ponda and just comes after it. Justin loses Applic from hand. That's a little bit of a surprise. The Applic felt like a card he would like to have. Abandon Jakku. So Dan says maybe just abandon Jakku and go to Tatooine with most of Justin's good characters on Jakku. He's got to do something with Dash. Like, I'd be much more in favor of that if he had a way to not get murdered with Dash. No, maybe it's just throw a guy on Dash, pick a fight, accept that you're going to lose Dash and the other guy after you drop a guy at Tatooine to satisfy battle plan or battle order, and call it a day. Emil uses Lando to see what card is on top. It's a card. Justin lost the Savage Opress to the Drain of 1, or Savage Opress. I'll be honest, I haven't watched the cartoons. I don't know how his name's pronounced. It looks like Savage, so it's Savage to me. And y'all can, savage me and chat about how I'm wrong. So I did, and we see Solo going on Dash and Rogue 12, and I got a private message from someone saying, it's probably saving the grabber for We're Doomed. That's a valid grab too. Like we've kind of talked about it. There's so many things that could be real obnoxious. The We're Doomed reducing the drains, although I'd want to read the wording on We're Doomed. I'd have to pull that up because I don't know that would protect, or I'm not sure if that would protect those Jakku drains. Let's go to the handy Holo app that Lee Edwards put up, and there's Poe, the Resistance General Poe, to the other Naboo site. Commander turn, you lose no four. Oh, that's the We're Doomed combo. That's not the one we're looking for. We're Doomed. Premier interrupts. Each time you must lose force, the loss is cut in half. Okay, so it would be just reduces loss. So we see Solo battles here. Retrieves the Lor San Tekka, which is probably good for him, but I do think this might have just been we're going to lose the ship here. See the destiny of 4. That will miss. I believe it is maneuver 5. Yep, so there's no need to do anything with that. I think this next one might be a 5. I'm going to see another shot here. Oh, never mind. That's a 1, so I'm bad at tracking apparently. And that's actually real good for Emil because now he can reduce the battle destiny and keep Solo alive in all likelihood. Like, you may still be down a little bit in power depending on, his draw is going to be good enough to kill Maul, I'm sure. Okay, so it's just a straight 4 unless he wants to Solo. Yep, he's going to use Solo to add 1 with heading for the medical frigate to get the extra 1, so he force kills Lord Maul, which is good, and I think the play he wanted to occur there. Puts his total power at 13, so he's not really going to lose anything here. There's the 5. Which is a 6, so he's going to reduce it, so he's going to be down 1 in power. Honestly, I think he's got 8 cards in hand. I guarantee there's a card he can lose ahead of losing Solo. Oh, is he only immune to less than 4? I thought he was immune to less than 5, so fair enough. He's immune to less than 4. Solo's got to die. Emil's fine with that. Like, now you move Poe over. Yep, move Poe over, put Poe in. And you're fine with that. Poe. No, they did this is the gorgeous art. Poe draws 1 if unable to otherwise, and it's got more characters. And starships there now. Dash. Why did he not just move Dash over? What am I... Did I miss something? Why he moved Poe over to put him on Dash and move Dash back over? Like, couldn't he have just moved Dash? Okay, maybe he could have. He just felt like using Force. These things happen. Emil's going to draw a couple. Justin's got to do something. I mean, he's going to drain for 5 here, which is good. But Emil's still above 15 cards down, so he can't We're Doomed anything. And really, like, in this case, We're Doomed saves him 1 force. I mean, saves him 3 force, but it cuts the 2s to 1, and then the 1 to a 0 because 3 PO's on table, so it's a round down instead of round up. Yeah, and Emil probably did intentionally move that force. He knew what he was doing. So he's tracking something far better than I am in this sort of regard. So we see the drain of 2 at the shipyard. And there's the it could be worse. That's going to be real obnoxious for Justin. Like, I'm not going to lie. That's I understand not grabbing it, especially if you're worried about the We're Doomed combo. Or not combo, if you're worried about the We're Doomed. But, yep, there's the grab, because you can't just let him keep playing that, too. Like, the reality is We're Doomed is going to save him 2 to 3 force. If he's just using that, it could be worse, and saving himself 2 force every single turn. You can't have that happen. Like, you really can't have either. There's the It's a Hit. There is no Sith there, so he can use It's a Hit to cancel that drain. That's not what Justin wanted either. Like, you knew it was coming. You knew Old Allies is running that. You knew it's going to happen. It is what it is. So Justin's going to get 1 force loss through here total. And Emil says, yeah, I'll lose Rey. I got one on table. She ain't going anywhere. I wonder if Justin does have a tentacle, does have a way to get a third grabber on table to stop the We're Doomed once it comes down. Here's Dr. E and Ponda Baba at the yard. I feel like you gotta have somebody with them. There's Grand Admiral Thrawn. We're gonna see Tarkin as well, just to force the action and try and take him off the site entirely. Wouldn't be the Nope, we're gonna see the Forlom cycling a card, which also means there's probably a Imperial Command potentially, just to get a second Destiny through and take down Poe, because he can't command, or he can't leadership to limit. Is Justin going to pay one to retrieve that Maul? Yep, that would make sense. I think you want to get Maul back. And Emil loses the We're Doomed combo off reserve, which also turns the Weather Vane 1. We see command to add a Destiny. So he is drawing 2. Like, he can subtract 2 from it, but Justin knows what his Destiny are. I think that should be... Yeah, I think that is the Gick he got back, which means he's drawing, I think, 4-4 or 4-5. There's the... They're still coming through. Reduce it by 2. That's fine. Really, the question is if the next one's a 5, which is enough to blow up General Poe. I think Poe forfeits for 6. Oh, there's the 6. Yep, that was what he put down with Masterful. We put that down. Oh, Emil. That was dirty. Plays you do have your moments to cancel the 6 and cause a redraw. Justin's got no cards in reserve. Nothing to redraw into. Emil draws a 4 for Battle Destiny. They are tied for power. Emil is immune, and Justin is hating life right about now. We see Dr. and Ponda go away. I assume we'll see a Dengar moves over with Thrawn. Mara moves over to Nalhutta. That was brutal. I think you got to move Mara over to Nalhutta just in case Emil. You don't want Emil throwing another pilot on the Resistance transport. And all right, so he's gonna tempt Emil. Say like, all right, throw another pilot on there. See what happens. He's gonna tempt him with the Zuckuss, or he's moving them both. All right, fair enough. He says, I don't feel like losing everybody in space. I'm gonna move them all over. Yeah, that you do have your moments was clutch. That was nasty. And now Justin probably just draws a card or 2. Like, I think you want to keep 1 force saved just in case. You do stop some of the... Emil's only draining you for 2 here. Like, Justin's still got 18 cards down and 4 cards in hand, so he's got 22 force total. Emil also has 18 cards down, but he's got 6 cards in hand, so he's 2 force up. The what's at Jakku right now is Ray, Lando, Radis, and 3PO. Yeah, shift click doesn't work on Twitch. I've tried it before. It's kind of unfortunate. I don't know that I hate moving there, but at the same time, like letting him battle into you with another leadership is not what you want either. Um, See Justin playing fanfare just to give himself a shuffle, I think. Yeah, there wasn't anything he was grabbing, he was just shuffling the deck so Emil couldn't plan around the, well, how can I stop him from drawing stuff? Um, Destroying your own tracking just to mess with your opponents is kind of a big brain thing. Yeah, I mean, you just keep forcing through the drain. You can't, it could be worse. You're going to have the We're Doomed. You're going to start looping at some point. The com scan grab was very good. Like, the com scan grab was great. There's a lot of things. Like, we haven't seen a handle, but it wouldn't shock me at all. There went a Grand Moff Tarkin and Darth Maul with lightsaber off the top for Justin. So, cards he's not, he's happy not to draw for Battle Destiny, but I don't know if he's going to be drawing a lot of Battle Destiny here. Like, he doesn't have any force saved, so he's not going to play command defensively if Emil comes after Thrawn and Dengar. But he does have some very good destinies. And there's Jin, who just says, alright, comm scan's grabbed, I'm going to block your drain, and just sit here. And Justin is, again, not super enthused about all of this, all of what's happening here. Emil looks at the top two cards of his deck. I gotta assume he's planning a battle somewhere. Like, he knows what he's doing with this, and yeah, there's so many good cards he can just track and annoy Justin with. Like, the cancel and redraw is really only going to work once. Like, you hit him with it once, after that Justin just saves an extra card in reserve if he can. There's your boy Lor Santeca down, so Emil gets to grab another card and restart this whole engine. Play 4 grabbers. Everything is grabbers. Like, it's just grabbers all the way down. But we see we see the retrieved Lor Santeca come down. Emil draws a card with the deployment of Lor. He might just move Dash to the 2/2 and call it fine. You're draining for 2, but he's draining for 2 where there's not, it's a hit. Stops it. Now, Justin should theoretically have gone and gotten that Maul he retrieved, although I'm not sure if he did, and I'm not sure if he did what he's going to do with it. Emil's now also down below 15 cards down. He's got 13 down and 9 in hand, so he can start using We're Doomed if he wants to. Like, we could definitely see a drain for 2 at the site. It's a hit it, followed by We're Doomed to stop the other drain, and Justin, again, just not loving any of what's going on right now. But Justin is not going to give up. He's still got a bunch of cards to work with him. He's still got 16 force down and 4 in hand. He's got a third of his deck still available. Like, you're not going anywhere with it. So Justin starts with the drain of 1 at Nalhutta and says, alright, well, if you're going to We're Doomed, I'm going to get this drain of 1 through. So now We're Doomed would cut that 2 to a 1, which is fine. We see Vice Admiral Holdo going from hand, and no We're Doomed. As instead, he just controls to cancel the drain of 2. I mean, we saw the We're Doomed combo lost earlier, so he might might just not be running We're Doomed. So, alright, looks like Beef Red in the other match. I just see in chat someone said it's going well. That's good for America, because we were up 5-2, and suddenly being down 6-5 would feel pretty bad. Although, I for one, honestly, I'm rooting for a tie, because I would love to see Justin and whoever the European captain picked in a one-match winner-take-all set of games. Like, I feel like hopefully that could be scheduled with giving me and Dan time to commentate them together, and that would be awesome. Yeah, I'd imagine Emil is the pick. Emil picks himself. You don't get to be this level at Star Wars or at anything that's competitive without having a whole lot of faith in yourself. So we see the Lord Maul come down to the 2-2. Are we going to see Justin just go a little fancy and say, I'm going to move Dengar over and force you to come into me? Like, I don't know that I'd hate that, honestly. Exactly that. I always like it when I suggest plays and then the good players make them. It makes me feel a little bit smarter. Makes me feel better about myself, and I appreciate that. So thank you, Justin, for making me feel good about myself by doing what I said would be the smart play. I think you got to move in space too. Honestly, I think Justin's watching the stream to listen to my commentary. That's I know he does, because he's complained before that I always say he makes dumb plays, or I don't like any of his plays. I'm gonna tell you right now, Justin, I like that play. Good job. We see Mara and the Decimator move to Rendley. Are we going to move Zuckuss, or is he going to keep Zuckuss for the drain? Nope, he's sticking with Zuckuss. Justin doing the same thing. Like, I just do not want to lose. I don't want to do something dumb and lose the game because of that. So, I assume, there's the walk lane to get back control. So, Emil just says, I do not like letting you drain. I actually could very well track the control, grab it with 3PO, and then use it to tunnel vision and get one thing. Oh, sure, fine, ditch me. Watch another stream. So, Idea Track says he's going to go check out the other stream right now. I don't necessarily blame him. I think, watching Justin Branch versus Beef Red is awesome, and, Dan does a great job on commentary. Dan's a fun guy to chat with and watch. That'll be a great game too, but this one's, I still think Emil's slightly advantaged, but this has gotten close. Justin has played this very, very well to stay on top of it. We see the drain of 2 and then the handle to make it 3, and there's not much Justin can do about that. He just loses P59 from Force Pile. That's another card I think he would have liked to have. The Force Push from hand, which is an easy one, and Tarkin's Bounty. He's running 2 Tarkin's Bounties, okay. And that flips the Weather Vane, allowing Emil to retrieve any one card. That seems really good. Yeah, I'm sure there's some sort of multi-stream way to multi-stream. I have no idea how to do that. I let the other folks do that. And Emil gets back the Escape Pod and We're Doomed combo. So that does nothing for him right now. So we see Solo come down against Thrawn. That could just be I'm going to wipe the site both ways and be okay with that. Like, that might be exactly the plan. I'm going to wipe the site. I'm going to move Lore and Poe over and just continue to try and stay ahead. The first strike damage is going to hit. It's going to give Emil a card back, which is good. Like, he's just steady grinding cards. He's got 12 cards and lost to Justin's 21. 22 now as that get goes away. Justin's down to 15 cards total. He's got 12 down and 3 in hand, and Emil's got 15 down and another 6 in hand. So that's a tough spot. My dog is going nuts upstairs. I'm assuming that means either the Amazon guy or the mailman showed up, and he's gonna yell at them until they leave his yard. Emil draws the 4 for Battle Destiny, which is enough to kill Thrawn. Justin's gonna draw anything. Hey, look, it's a 6. That's actually good for Justin. Now he knows where that is. Emil subtracts 2 from it, but it doesn't really matter. That just kills Solo, kills Thrawn. That went as expected. That being said, all of these grind plays, all of the way this works, is better for Emil. Like, Emil is doing better with this grind because that steady drain of 2 at Jakku is getting Justin into critical mass. We see Leia's transport move away. I assume we'll see Lore and Dash move away here. I gotta assume. I think it'd be... Yep. Like, it'd be real gutsy to leave them there. So, yep, we see them move away. That Jin is getting Justin very unhappy right now, but it is what it is. I think you may end up seeing Justin activate a pile. Justin shuffles everybody, all the dudes over one site, and says, well, make something happen. I assume we'll see another drain of 1 first, as Emil's got 15 cards down, so he could still play, if he's got the non-combo We're Doomed, he can still get that running. He can't, it's a hit the Maul drain, so that is going to be a drain of 2 if he doesn't have the We're Doomed. I assume we'll see the drain of 1 first, simply to stay ahead of the We're Doomed. That way he still gets it through, although at the end of the day, no, we'll see the drain of 2 here, because at the end of the day it nets out the same 2. If you drain for 1 and then Emil plays the We're Doomed, you get 1 more drain of 1. And Emil loses the Chewie with Bowcaster from hand, and Ahsoka with Lightsabers from reserve deck, and there's the We're Doomed. And Justin can't stop it. And that's... I mean, Comscan would have been huge many times. It's a very, very good card. There's a very good reason Emil grabbed it, because it does 3 or 4 bad things to him, and if you only get to play it once, that's good. Like, and there's value in doing that. Just saying, look, I'm gonna, that card can screw me a bunch of different ways, so I'm just gonna grab it and be okay. First straight ping would be 0, yes. We got someone subscribed with Prime. They've been here for 3 months now. That's awesome. Subscribing with Prime is one of the great ways to support the Players Committee. As we see we'll move Sidious over. Now we'll move Lord Maul and Dengar over. But yeah, subscribing with Prime, it's free if you've got a Prime membership. It helps support the PC in all we do. It helps, the big tournaments that get run, stuff like this streaming, all this stuff costs money, costs resources. The Prime subscription's a great way to, give a little back, help us continue to deliver, good content and, my streams, and awesome foils. Like, you do get cool foils for, there we go, Justin says, alright, I'm getting sick of this, moves Mara to Jakku, and I expect we'll see Zuckuss go there as well. I don't think you do just Mara there. That feels like a good way to just lose Mara. But that's a great way to... Hey, Cyrus, VHS Tapes. I saw you just came back recently, saw on the forums, which is, great way, again, the forums and Slack and Discord and Facebook, and so many ways to stay connected to the game, see what's going on. Um, but yeah, the PC subscribing to Twitch, there's foils. You get for that at, I think, 1 month, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. There's a whole bunch of foils, and they're all gorgeous. We've talked about, I've talked about in the past, and everybody probably at some point is going to get sick of hearing me say how gorgeous the foils and alternate arts the PC makes are. Like, the graphics team is absolutely amazing, and I will not be taking questions about it at this time. They do insanely good work, and I mean, some of it you're seeing right here. Like, Lord Santeca is not an AI. That's, I believe, Commander Evergem Levergem or whatever. But Larna's AI, General Poe. Like, these are images our graphics team put together and got stuff looking like this. There's General Lando. Like, these things don't exist without the graphics team doing amazing stuff. Thrawn's not on the table right now, so I can't pick him. Jin, graphics team. Lord Sidious, graphics team. Like, these guys do amazing work. Alright. Oh, Thrawn's on top of Lost Pile. Well, fine, if you want to point out things like that, sure. Yes, he's on your Lost Pile. Thought you were watching the other stream, so you could stop yelling at me. We see the drain of 1. Justin loses Maul strikes from hand. Yeah, I don't think that was going to come into play. I don't expect Emil to be dropping any Jedi right now. And the Weather Vane tilts for 1. I don't know that we're going to see any other action. Like, I'm not sure we're going to see a drain or a battle at the system. He may be willing to just sit there. That may not be, like, you're not getting an extra draw with Mara now because Mara's not alone, but you do have to worry about a command to add 1 and suddenly make your life a little more difficult. Or just Gold Leader and Gold 1 to... Good. I don't know how long Emil's been sitting on that card. We did not see that spin for any Battle Destiny anywhere. Like, I don't know if Justin thought he had him out of space. And Anakin Skywalker, Padawan Learner as a pilot, really for the extra. Alright, so Emil prevents the canceling the Battle Destiny draws. It doesn't prevent them from being modified. And that's really more what you have to deal with. And Gold Leader doesn't cancel them. Gold Leader just says you have to pay 1 to draw. Dan, I have the nicer voice. I will appreciate that. Thank you very much. See the Ahsoka Tano with lightsabers getting retrieved. I think that bottom card is the We're Doomed, so you're going to see the Destiny to Power, and then the We're Doomed for Battle Destiny, and then as soon as he recirculates, Emil will just 3PO for that We're Doomed. Although We're Doomed will not be in play anymore. There's the Are You Okay? The 4 for the Destiny to Total Power puts him up 9 in power right now. 20 to 11 with just straight Battle Destiny draws, and he's going to be able to subtract. There's the We're Doomed. So, although 3PN for that, he's going to end up at 16 cards in Lost instead of 15. So total Battle Destiny is 7. That's going to be probably Ozzel and Zuckuss. And honestly, that might just be about game. I'm not sure what... There's the 6. We're going to subtract 2 to make it 4. And that's fine. 4 kills Radis. Everybody's happy. 4 kills Radis, everyone lives. And Justin's got to lose 12 from the site, which is... Ouch. Oh, 4 kills Radis, like I said. There went Ozzel and the Tarkin's Bounty. Do you lose Mara and ship instead? Yep, Mara and ship, just because then you're down to only needing to lose one. And the other Imperial command from hand. Yep, Justin was sitting on those commands. Emil held on to that gold leader and gold 1 and hit it forever. Like, I don't know if Justin knew it was coming at some point. We see Dash and Rogate, Lor Santeca move over. They're okay. Like, honestly, if you're Justin, you're kind of okay with that. And Emil draws a card to put him at 15. And we'll see we might not even see them. I mean, we'll see him go get the We're Doomed because you want to have it, but he's not going to be able to play it right now because he's only getting drained for one thing. And there's no way. I don't expect Justin to have any battles or anything to start the pings. Like, now you know that 5 is sitting on top. Nope. Now you know it's a 4 sitting on top. As he 3POs into the We're Doomed. Honestly, I wouldn't hate playing it right now anyways, just to, fine, you want to battle me, I'll reduce the pings with first strike. Like, that's all you can do with it right now, and that's what he's doing. He says, alright, I'm going to play We're Doomed anyways. I know you're not draining anymore, but this will stop some of that stuff from going on. Justin's got to have a good card in his hand. Like, if the card in his hand isn't huge, this is over. They're draining for about the same amount of damage. Emil's up. He's got 17 total force to Justin's 12. And Emil's got more ways to reduce, more ways to do things, plus the Weather Vane, where even if he's only draining a couple times a turn, like, that starts spinning, and spinning's a pretty good trick. You keep turning that, Emil stays ahead, and that's all he's got to do right now. Like, he's ahead in force, they're draining for similar amounts, and he can slowly but steadily retrieve one. And yep, Justin just moved Zuckuss completely away. So now he's going to eat a drain of 3. Uses 1 to move Dengar over. You got to leave Lord Sidious there. Unless you want to move Lord Sidious and Maul and force him to move. Nope. Justin just says, fine, that's it. I'm going to draw a couple. He's got to find something. It's just a question of if he's got any answers left. Because he's now down to 7 cards in hand, 5 force, 7 cards in life force, 5 cards in hand. He's going to get drained for 3 here, and the Vane's going to turn twice, which is also not very good for him. Like, I don't envision Emil starting a battle at the site. That feels like a bad thing. So him activate 3PO card. That should be his We're Doomed, I believe. Excuse me, apologize. And Ray for a card. Like, he's just staying steady, and alright, I'm going to keep doing what I need to do and activating the last one. So, yep, he's not going to start a battle. He says, I'm fine with this. I'm draining for 3. You're going to drain for 2. That, he wins the long game that way. Justin loses another Maul with lightsaber from hand. Yep, he wasn't going to have enough to redeploy him anywhere, even if he lost him. That finishes the turn on the Vane, so Emil gets to retrieve any one card. And he retrieves General Leia. That seems like a good card to retrieve. And we see another drain of 2 at Jakku. And Justin loses the Sith Fury from hand, along with Asajj with lightsaber from hand. I mean, Justin's down to 9 cards total. Like, Emil's got 18. And I don't know. I mean, Cyrus, if you're looking for stuff, I think I saw that you're out west. I mean, the next big event is going to be the Indianapolis Eclipse event, which is going to be awesome, and you should definitely see about coming to it. If not, yeah, there'll be something on the West Coast, I'm sure. We'll try and keep everybody included. We see Blue 11 come down. Could very well just see Lor Santeca move over and hang out outside there. Like, Justin can't do anything else right now. And you could very easily... Oh, we're just going to land and get Anakin out. Alright, fair enough. Fine. That's a lot of blue cards on the site. Staring at Forlam, who can't do anything, so it's just a whatever. You are what you are. And I expect we'll see Lore and Dash move away. Black Maul's Drain instead. Instead we see Anakin on Blue 11. Slide all the way over, Lore. Move in there. And Dash move over as well and say, alright, you're down 8. 9, because Anakin's going to add 1 to the Battle Destiny. I don't think you can start a battle here. I think if you're Emil, you just leave that drain at 1. You go fine. You can drain for 1. Yep, and there's Justin with the GG, and Justin conceded. So, the match is now tied. It is 5-5. Europe versus America. That was a heck of a match. A heck of a game by both of them. Yeah, that You Do Have Your Moments was absolutely crushing. Emil's saying in chat that was the game breaker. Like, up until that point, I think Justin could have come back if that would have gone through. I think Justin has a chance. But thank you all for watching. Glad you all were here. I think Dan and I are streaming tomorrow, or at least Dan is. I might be able to be with as well. But y'all have a great day, and may the force